Welcome everybody to Thundering Einherjar. Oopsie, wrong button. Thundering Einherjar, episode 9. My name is Sam Lander. I'll be your GM, and I have some players.
I am Jägermeister, currently in a cockpit of my work van, but playing as Denver Wright in the cockpit of whatever I end up in.
My name is Zerger, playing Geralt Kenshin, the NBFA liaison to the Thundering Einherjars, in a very, very peculiar Black Knight. Suda, mic muted.
Well, while Suda's figuring out her audio, I'll go ahead. I am Hegemon Lur, playing Caleb Archer, whose motto is "What's mine is mine, and what's yours is mine," and he drives a Marauder.
Yep, that was definitely an audio issue. Hi, I'm Suda. I'm playing as Javon Horn, and I totally have use of both of my arms currently.
That's good to know.
Right. And I'm East, and I'm playing as Marina Haffa, probably still slaving away in the medical bay.
All right, so you guys are all gathered up in the thing. General, right? General? I don't remember. DCMS? Nope, that's not it. NPCs. Newbergen government. Not that one though. Yes, General Lars has dropped the line about we're not going to let them surrender, and turns to your crew and says, I understand you have some injured people after the assault on the drop port, and you have some mechs to fix, or at least had some mechs to fix. Anyway, you have some mechs to fix. We are currently gathering some information about the disposition and placement of the DCMS units left on this planet. But when we have found them, I will call you together and, well, we'll plan an assault at that point. I want to kick them off of my planet. Well, the off part is optional, but the kick it part is not. If you guys don't have any questions for me, I'm going to head out and try to recover. He kind of waves his hand.
Well, you point, we'll punch. Just let us know where and when.
He nods. And he heads out of the room.
All right. Well, sounds like we've got some time on our hands. Let's make good use of it. Let's get everything up in top-notch condition. Let's see what we can find out. I don't like just depending on the NBFA to tell us what's going on.
Geralt, you are in the roof.
Yeah, Geralt just looks around. Okay. Right. Well, I'll be in the satellite communication mech outside if you need me. And he will not angrily or just defiantly half stomp off towards the Black Knight.
Oh, jeeper. I'm going to follow him. See if I can mend some fences. Girl, wait up. I didn't. Hold on.
I'll head out the door too, whatever, let them do their thing. Head off to the med bay.
About halfway down the hallway, Geralt will sigh heavily and stop and turn to face you.
Girl, you know I wasn't wasn't meaning you. I'm just frustrated with the situation.
Yeah, I can see. But remember, I'm still NBFA.
You've already bled with us. I think of you as family.
Well, thank you. I was going to go out and run some comm sweeps to see if I could track down some of the blasted dests calling for evac or whatever.
Sounds good. I'm gonna head to the control center, see if I can find anything out there. We'll catch up later. All right.
Know where I'll be. The Black Knight outside at the semi-tall place. He turns, does a half-hearted salute, and turns and walks off.
Caleb just lets out a big sigh and turns toward the dropship command center.
All right. Some time passes. Could I have everybody give me a intelligence gathering roll, and for that I want whatever you think your character would use to gather intelligence in the next 3 weeks or so. It's a good solid 3 weeks before anything comes down from the NBFA as far as that goes. So program, oh dear lord. Tell me what it is and how you're using that skill to gather intelligence.
I'm using program to basically do comm sweeps on looking for DCMS encrypted communications to record and decrypt at later dates.
Okay. 13, 12, 10. Yeah, okay. So Caleb.
So, leader of commander of the Thundering Einherjar, so definitely reaching out to the whole staff, trying to find ways to send them on covert missions or similar such. Also reaching out to less savory connections that I've already started to make on the planet.
All right, and we'll have to wait for Jaeger because not able to roll right now. So
I can't roll, but I'd probably use my trade connections. You want to make a roll for me? That's fine.
as soon as I find your character sheet, do.
Yes, Mirena would
Denver,
probably
not
be.
Devon.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Need to move.
Mirena would probably be helping out in the med bay and hailing out people that are coming towards the ship for help
Character sheet.
and trying to talk with them every so often.
Trade. Submit plus. We'll go with charisma. Submit. All right. Everybody except for Yvonne's gonna get some information. All right. Sorry, Yvonne.
It's okay. There's not much else she can do.
You spent a lot of time in the community, like chatting with people, and getting ins with the NBFA. You make a lot of good connections, but it doesn't really give you any information. Morena, with heal plus charisma, you are gonna get some more information out of Soma. Soma Okabe is the person who you guys captured and was pretty severely injured. So what you get out of Soma is like you kind of explain the situation, what's been going on, the whole the running away, and he's like uh Ayaka oh shoot, what is her rank? I didn't put her rank down. That's awesome. That. Haha. Shosa. So Shosa Ayaka, who he had already given you as the commander of the mech forces on the planet, or really general military commander. He's like, she would never have retreated from Radal if she was in command. I had heard that she escaped from the NBFA army troops, but she would not have evacuated from Radal. And if what your friend told you is true, and there were mechs loaded onto the dropships, that's very much what it looks like happened. So I don't know if she's injured or what's going on, but she would not have retreated.
Right.
Denver with trade. So Denver, what you get is there's a whole lot of activity going on around Kyberg. And that the commercial flights from Radal in the evacuation headed to Voxadal. But what you're getting is there's a whole lot of like something is going on around Kyberg. Caleb with leadership and charisma. What you get is that the NBFA doesn't 100% know what to do with themselves. They have Rodal under control. Rodal and Hagazund, the tank forces, have surrendered that were in there. But they don't have enough pilots to mount effective like tank units. And as of right now, at least, they aren't using any of the pilots that had been loyal or not loyal under the DCMS pay. So basically, anybody who has any institutional knowledge of the tanks is currently been effectively fired. They're not shooting them, but they're not utilizing them either. And Geralt with a 13. It's not as good as a maximum, but it's real close. You get a ping of encrypted information off of a satellite directed at the commercial dropship to the west of here, which is still grounded in the forest to the left. Is that east?
West.
West. Okay, so the commercial dropship that's still grounded in the forest outside of Rodal. Not sure what it means. With a 13 though, actually no, you could break the encryption. It is a query by the DCMS to hire that dropship to take them off planet.
Geralt just grins in his control seats.
All right. 3 weeks pass. It is now the 20. So hold on. Is it date and time dot Date and time. Time and date. Calendar. I don't know. There's a website that I used to have that showed calendar. Oh, 20. There we go. So 3029. Show. So 3 weeks pass. After the 21st of March. January, February, March 21st. So it is April 1, 2, 3. Say April 15th. You guys all get called back into a conference room. Off of the dropship. Hedge, could I have you give me another leadership and charisma, please? $13. At this point, you're wondering if the crew of the Toraberu is more loyal to the Thundering Einherjar than they are to the MBFA.
Okay, that's good to know.
The Toraberu is, let's see, New Bergen is their world, but the Toraberu is their home, and they've spent the last year almost working in close quarters with you guys. Which is maybe why you guys aren't meeting on the Toraberu. All right, so again, there's an office building just outside of Union Park that has been the NBFA has been doing a much better job of crowd control and building clearing. Geralt, give me a notice plus wisdom check, please. Okay. Yep.
Wisdom as the dump-ish stats.
Yep. You definitely got a 6 in that. All right. So anyway, you guys are this is like it was an office building. It's got a whole bunch of conference rooms in it. And General Hermanson has called you guys in for conference. Including asked for your Company 2 commanders as well to join you.
All right. So we'll trundle over and give the place a once over ourselves before we actually enter the conference room.
Could I have everybody give me a notice plus intelligence roll? Or if you have a military skill that might instead be, let me see what would be good. Survive plus intelligence would also work. All right. Caleb and Geralt, this place is externally heavily guarded. Internally, there is obviously a lot of people have cleared areas and then made them impossible to inhabit. Putting sensors in the rooms and then boarding up motion sensors in a room and then boarding up the room so that it can't, somebody can't accidentally go into that room. There's a level of paranoia here that seems both a little over the top and apt.
Mostly apt.
Geralt just nods to himself and mutters a little bit below his breath, "This is how you secure a building."
All right, so
Caleb is definitely relaxing a little bit and looking around to see what might be left lying around that could, wander off.
the coffee smells like planetary coffee, and there's like in the reception area there's coffee and donuts and turnovers and
So Caleb looks over and takes a big old sniff. Hey, Geralt, you see what's over here? They've got donuts.
Ooh. Grab me some and a big cup of coffee.
You sure you want that stuff? Don't. I'll get you some. That's fine. The donuts is the draw, man. So I'll go over and pick up a couple of donuts, a couple cups of coffee, bring them back.
okay. So you get your coffee and donuts, and they are the worst donuts as far as if you want to maintain like decorum, because they're the like fried donuts with the very heavy layer of powdered sugar on them. So it's like you pick it up and there's just poof of powdered sugar. And you guys make your way into the conference room. In the room, you see General Hermansen, Overst Lund, and a person that nobody except for Geralt recognizes. Geralt, there is Maya Leonardson, who is the lieutenant governor, or was lieutenant governor, is now the acting governor of New Bergen.
He just says, "Ma'am," and sits down, opens up his tablet, and just waits.
Okay.
As Caleb walks in, he'll wave the donut, scattering powdered sugar, and say, "Hey, General, what can we do you for?"
Charisma plus notice from anybody who wants to get a micro expression.
Well, I gotta do that.
Can I do a sneak plus charisma to not be noticed as much, to like stay at the back?
Oh, absolutely. Okay.
I'm right there with you, Marina.
So Yvonne and Morena are wallflowers in the back of the room. Caleb, and yeah, absolutely wallflowers. Like nobody notices you two come in except for the player characters, because so with your 10, Caleb, you get a like well-covered eye roll from the Overst, and a like micro expression concern / crossness from Maya. Am I saying that right?
Sounds right.
Maja.
Yeah, Maya.
Maya. Okay, just making sure. Like these this is too much because it's just a micro expression, but it's like these unprofessional guys are what did this sort of expression on her face. Okay. So he General says, "Oh yes, come in, sit down. Good to see you got some coffee and donuts. If anybody else wants some, I can have some brought in. So I wanted to let you guys know what your next mission is."
Glad to hear it. We We've got everything in tip-top shape. We just need something to shoot at.
He nods, and I think I found you. So, in a small, in a remote area near Kyberg, we believe we have located the DCMS forces, both drop ships and mech forces. Nearby, we think that they have set up a tent city with, other people, and what's the word? GM is having a brain fart. Nope, still having a brain fart. People who go along with armies.
Support crew,
Camp
refugees.
followers?
I think wives and not really camp followers, but wives and children and
Auxiliary.
dependents. Dependence is the word I think I'm looking for. Not right. Anyway, so just to the east of Kyberg, we believe we have located them. We have had trouble getting really good information, but we think there can be no more than 16 mechs remaining on the DCMS in the DCMS forces. They do have perimeters, fairly tight perimeter set up. So we haven't been able to confirm those numbers, but
Do you have any intel on what size or composition? Any intel at all about the makeup of those mechs could make a big difference. If we're going up against heavies and assaults, that's a completely different proposition than if they've got 4 scout lances.
So what we're seeing is mostly lights and a few mediums. No confirmation on any heavies at all. But no negative confirmation either. But all the mechs that have currently been seen are things like fire starters and locusts and spiders and panthers.
All right, so are you thinking frontal assault? What's your, or is that tactics up to us?
Well, you guys have had a very free tactical hand up until now, but I think that this is the golden opportunity to you guys see the screen behind him change as he's talking, but he doesn't notice. Geralt, you can explain what you're putting up there, but he's talking like, so I am saying, what you do is we land the dropship. I'm to understand one of your people is a pilot that can pilot the dropship. Land your dropship within a few kilometers of the area, and then we want you to reduce the mech forces to 0 and disable the dropships that they have in the area. We do not care about the condition of the camp followers, the dependents who are nearby. No orders specifically to attack them. If they leave you be, go ahead and leave them be. But if you feel like you need to take care of them as well, then feel free. Can I have a general intelligence check, please? Just intelligence from everybody.
How do we do that?
I think you can just click on intelligence.
No, but you can just, if you have something that's 0, roll it with intelligence.
Well, okay, I can give you a skill that would be administer would be good if anybody has it, but if you have a negative in it, don't feel like you need to use it. Actually, knowledge,
negative, but I'll just roll it with a +1.
Or not. Actually, knowledge plus intelligence is actually the best option. 6, 7, 5. I think Jaeger may actually be here. Yay, Jaeger!
Loading in at least.
Indeed.
Correct. Loading in.
Woohoo! 6, 7. I'm gonna give Denver a chance to roll this as well.
Knowledge intelligence, you said?
Yep, knowledge plus intelligence. Eight. Good enough.
Ooh.
So hop with me into the sideboard, please, Jaeger. Here, I can drag you in there too. All right, so you have some knowledge of the Ares Convention. One of the things about the and as a mercenary company, you are protected by the Ares Convention.
You pulled me, but since I was on the cell phone, I didn't actually move.
Oh,
Start over.
Okay.
I'm on my PC.
So you have knowledge of the Ares Convention. And one of the things about the Ares Convention is it helps protect mercenary forces so they don't get cast as war criminals. And one of the things about the Ares Conventions is that when reasonable, when you do not have a suspicion of like them lying, you should generally let people surrender. And the other thing is that non-combat forces should generally be excluded from conflict. For this situation specifically, what this means is that if you guys were to, say, go into attack the DCMS forces and like blow up their camp of their refugees, you could be branded as a war criminal. And the other thing is you can't use them as like hostages to force somebody to surrender, if that makes sense. From what you're getting from the general, I'll give this to you as player knowledge. I don't know about what your character's going to say, but as player knowledge, you think letting the general know this in this moment would be a poor plan. Like, correcting him in this situation would be, like, you guys can do whatever you want to do and feel free to tell the other players this thing, but, like, stepping up and saying, you're wrong, we shouldn't do this, or something similar to that would go over poorly.
Right.
Okay. And yep, that's what your 8 got you.
Okay.
Wait for Jaeger. Jaeger rejoined. All right, so he says, so orders are as thus. And he...
Before he starts talking, Geralt raises his hand. General, sir, what do you propose to do with that? And he just points his raised hand towards the screen behind him.
He turns around and looks and goes, "What? What is this? Explain yourself, Geralt."
The dropship that came, one of the dropships that came with the mercenaries, has gotten a request for drop capacity off planet.
He looks at Caleb and goes, "Didn't he contract with you to take you guys away when you're done?"
We ain't done yet.
All right. So is he on your retainer or not?
Let's just say we have an understanding.
So the answer
Our
is...
understanding is if he wants to get out, he gets out and leaves us high and dry.
The answer is no. Oh, great. So they could increase their drop capacity by 12 mechs. That's wonderful.
Or we could load up and allow him to drop us right smack in the middle of them when they don't expect us coming.
and eyebrows raised across the room, and he goes,
We
Well,
could be the reinforcements.
that's an interesting proposition. He looks
Why,
Geralt.
why go in from the outside against all the defenses when we can go out from the inside?
Geralt, see if you can get in contact with that drop captain. Meanwhile,
While he says that, Caleb's going to take a drink of the coffee in front of him, make an awful face, look at it, and says to Geralt, "While you're at it, see if you can get some good coffee."
Oh, the expression on Vanya's face is like to be cherished, because it's like a mixture of worry and fear. Well, not worry and fear; those are the same thing. But worry and disgust and confusion.
Geralt will just respond, pointing at his cup. You've got it, but sure we can get some of the non-export stuff, I guess. Cocks and eyebrows looks at Vanya.
Geralt, give me a computers plus intelligence roll. Everybody else. So he draws up just a very rough map. Oh, good. Draws up a very rough map. And says, we think with we don't necessarily want you guys to drop all 24 of your mechs. And generally speaking, we'd only planned on having one drop to the Toraberu to actually take you over there. So the suggestion was going to be drop with 12, but if you could drop with 12 inside of the commercial ship and then land some extra forces outside of Kyberg, that would be a thing. Geralt, your phone rings.
He looks puzzling at it,
Just
gets up, excuses himself, goes outside the conference room before he answers.
Okay, follow me into the sideboard, please. Okay, so you are now in contact with the drop captain, and he looks at you and says, Lieutenant, how can I help you?
I'm where you've been contacted by the DCMS to jump out with them.
He has
Is this true?
He has an entirely neutral expression and goes, I do not discuss the contract details I may or may not have with opposing forces on planet. Opposing to the forces I may or may not have been hired for.
Good. Please hold. And he walks back in.
Okay,
puts the phone back on the table on speakerphone.
All right, back to the role play for the main room then.
She just tosses you
phone call for you.
He goes, this is General Lars Hermanson. Who am I speaking with? I don't want to have a conversation with myself, so it's the dropship captain. And he very carefully says the same thing he said to you, Geralt. It's like, I do not discuss the deal, the workings of my contract, or the oh shoot, words. I do not discuss my contracts with forces that may be opposing those I am contracted with. I can neither confirm nor deny any contracted information.
Out of curiosity, just idle curiosity, hypothetically, if you were to be heading that way to pick them up, what's the odds that your hold could be full when you drop there?
Well, out of idle curiosity and some perhaps guarantees, depends on what the hold is full of. If it's full of teak wood and coffee beans, well, it could be full of teak wood and coffee beans. If it's full of mech warriors and their mechs, it's 3 million sea bills.
And Geralt just looks around the room silently.
A very sour expression on Lars's face and goes, thank you, Captain. I do not believe we'll be hiring your services at this time. But I will warn you that should you happen to be in the Kyberg area in the near future, we cannot guarantee the safety of your vessel. As long as you remain where you're at or some other city of your choice on this continent, your vessel is guaranteed to remain safe. But he kind of carefully says, with the knowledge with DCMS's knowledge that you were one of the dropships that landed the mercenary forces on this planet, I can't guarantee you that they won't attack you. And he kind of gives you a motion, Geralt, to cut off the communication.
I do so.
Very sour expression on the general's face at this point. So, one dropship. With the possibility of there being an extra union there. Unless we get this done quickly.
Well, General, it would have been easier with their transponder, but I guess it's your money. It's my blood, though, so let me just tell you I'm not very happy with that choice.
He nods and goes, yes, I am aware of that. I guess I'll leave it up to you. If you drop with 12 or if you try to do 2 drops with more. But they're going to see you coming in unless you well, they're going to see you coming in. So the first forces you drop on them should be ready to take a fight to them no matter what. And if you decide to drop with 2, then yeah, you may have split. Your unit may be split. I guess your unit would be split if you only drop with 12, but
with respect, General, we've got places to be. Unless you've got something else, we're moving out now.
He shakes his head. That's what I wanted to hear. And he gives you a local salute, which is the classic, like, you know, fingers to forehead. Geralt, second.
Yeah,
As-
sure.
As we walk out of the room, I say, Geralt, you're more than welcome to join us. We could definitely use you, and we'll be dusting off as quick as we can.
Oh, I'm planning on it. Keep a spot for the night if you mind.
Anybody who waits near the door can hear this, so I'm not going to pull Zerder into the sideboard again. But he goes, I want you in the first wave of whatever they send, and make sure they get the job done. You know your mech better than I do, but be in the front.
Sure.
He nods and gives you a salute and offers a hand to shake it.
Grabs the hand, no salute, and twirls off on the heels.
Good hunting, soldier. All right. You guys head back to the Toroberu.
How are the repairs on our mechs doing?
They're all pristine.
Everybody's pristine. All wounds have had a chance to heal up. Anybody with broken bones probably is sore, but like they're healed well enough that they're not going to affect combat effectiveness.
Question.
Yep.
How hard would it be for Geralt to modify the transponder on the Thoroughbearer?
That would be a program plus intelligence roll.
Caleb,
Yeah.
the transponder thing. I think I might be able to spoof ours.
That's what I'm talking about. We don't need to bother with 3 million C-bills. We'll just collect it after we land.
A
So-
player question.
Yep.
Visually, do we need to modify to imitate their dropship?
The dropship, the dropship that you guys currently have is painted as a DCMS Union. Still, it hasn't been repainted. The commercial dropship was very generic, like gray, space gray, bits of rust and primer poking through.
And correct me if I'm wrong, they're not even going to see the paint on the dropship until like 10 seconds before it's landed.
Right. So it would be, if you guys are planning to hot drop like in the middle of them, they might notice something as the thing grounded. Like, this is not space, so there's not a whole lot of time between re-entering of the atmosphere and being on the ground unloading.
Also, we might be able to send a call to surrender to them, perhaps. I think I got their frequency.
You do have communication frequencies with them, yes.
Are you thinking like after we land and have deployed?
Land either. I see two possibilities. Either drop, spoof the transponder in the IFF to make it ours look like the one they hired, and drop in the middle and just go inside out, or drop outside, transmit a call to surrender on all known DCMS frequencies as we're moving up.
What about the first one, but transmit the surrender as we're deploying onto the field? Because I guess my expectation from what we heard from, I don't know if it was the Oberst, was that, or no, it was from the captured pilot, was that the commander in the field's not likely to surrender.
Well, you can talk with him if you want.
I suppose let's while we're getting things loaded up and ready to go, let's pay a visit to the prisoner.
Point of order: do you let Geralt know that you have a prisoner? Because nobody's told the MBFA yet.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yes. So I'm not gonna. I want to know whether or not you let Geralt know.
Tell you what I'll do. I'll say to Yvonne, why don't you go pay your friend a visit and see if they can tell us anything.
I like the sound of that. I'm getting used to my right arm back.
All right. So you guys.
Take it calm now.
What was that?
Take it calm now. Take it easy.
So you guys all get whichever mechs you're gonna bring into the bring into the dropship. You start loading them up, getting them locked into mech cradles, getting mech warriors ready, all that sort of fun stuff. While Yvonne, you head into the engineering spaces. There is a what is the right word? Brig set up, and it's relatively comfortable. Soma has been down here for a few weeks at this point, but he's like well fed, like nobody's been bothering him, all that sort of fun jazz. And as you open up cell door, poke your head in, and goes, "Oh, hey, Yvonne, good to see you again. What's up?"
Well, we're hoping to maybe see if possibly maybe we can convince the rest of the DCMS forces to surrender. You know your commander better than we do.
Do you know who's in charge?
Not quite sure, but we can get that information if we need to.
Because if who would be actually if Ayaka is in charge, then surrender will be you guys killing them all in glorious combat. Because that's how she rolls. Let's see. And he's kind of like, well, I would be second in command normally, but he points at the cell wall. So the next most veteran person would probably be Shinsuke Shimizu. They're relatively green. Not like super green, but they haven't been in command very long. They command a lance, and they've never commanded anything larger than that. I guess if you give them the right incentive, then they may be willing to surrender. But if Ayaka is in charge, then they will fight to the death.
Duly noted. Duly noted.
Well, if you let me talk to them, I might be able to convince them. Again, assuming that Ayaka isn't in charge. Because if Ayaka's in charge, then I mean she'll want me shot.
Yeah, I don't have that authority. We can talk to Caleb about that. But as of right now, much appreciated. Thanks, handsome. And I'll kiss him on the cheek.
He blushes a little bit and like looks a little flustered, and like he's been wearing the same clothes for a while now because it's his uniform, and he doesn't really have any other clothes because you guys captured him. And so he like tries to straighten up his uniform, and he's like, "All right, I'm assuming we're gonna be taking off soon."
Most likely.
He nods. "All right, I know where my crash couch is," and he points at the only real furniture in this room, which is the bed. "Don't get shot down because I'm in here too."
Oh, we wouldn't dream of it.
He chuckles and nods.
And then I'll go back and relay all the information and his request to Caleb.
All right, Caleb, Yvonne's finds you.
So what'd you find out?
Depends on who's in charge, but if the escaped prisoner from earlier is she's gonna insist that they fight to the death. You know Draconis. They're gonna do that. So there's that. However, if she's not in charge, he thinks that if he talks to them, that he may be able to convince them to surrender. And I told him it was up to you because I'm just here.
What do you think? Is he trustable?
Give me a charisma plus a skill. Charisma plus talk?
Connect, talk.
Connect or talk.
This is Yvonne or me?
Yvonne.
Charisma and boop.
You don't have any like he doesn't seem not trustworthy.
Are you, by chance, a pure expert, Ivan?
Rerolls?
Pure expert.
You do have a non-combat related reroll once per scene.
Yep.
Just throwing it out there. Might want to reconsider that too.
Yep.
You've spent some time getting to know him over the last little while. Like bringing him food and stuff. He seems as trustworthy as he has been up until now. Like he wasn't obviously pulling your leg.
All right. So here's what I'm thinking.
You can throw him.
Let's find out at some point who's in command, and then if what was it that you said, Suzuku or Shinji or whoever it is,
Shinsuke Shimizu.
Yeah, that guy. If he's in command, then we'll see what we can do to patch him in and see if we can negotiate our way out of this.
Yes, sir.
Nope.
All right, let's see if we can round everybody up in the. I suppose it's got to be the mech bay because the conference rooms are just ridiculous, and get ourselves a battle plan.
All right. And Shimizu is she, by the way.
You'll find Geralt already in the cockpit of the Black Knight, running more comm suite because he has a couple of bugs he needs to find.
All right, so you guys get gathered up wherever you're gathering up. Techs are locking mechs into place. I forgot. Actually, my brain didn't actually hear where you said you were gathering everybody up.
We were going to join the mech bay because it's the largest place.
Okay, so yeah, you can gather everybody up in the mech bay. You've got 12 mech warriors, because that's how many you can carry. Probably second. So the commanders of Lance of Company 2, Tai and Stanislav. And let's see. I'm sure that Ran is there as well. And so is John. Because they're kind of heading up some maintenance stuff too, and they're not the ones working on locking mechs into place. So, but
I figure we've got to identify which mechs were taken.
Well, that would be helpful.
So here's what I'm thinking. Company 1, Lance 1. So that's the 2 Marauders, Grasshopper, and the Awesome. Company 2, Lance 1, which is the Battlemaster, Warhammer, Ryan, and Thunderbolt. That's Tai's Lance.
Okay.
And then Company 1, Lance 2, which is the Victor, the Orion, the Jaegermech, and the Archer, but swap out the Archer for Geralt, since the Archer can't seem to hit anything anyway.
Ha! Yori is very put out by this. Also is understanding of why of this.
Just a sort of a democratic question to the group. Does that seem like a good mix, a good set to take?
Yeah.
You don't have very much speed. I don't know if that you find that be important, but there's a lot of light mechs you're fighting against, or possibly fighting against at least.
That went well last time.
Fair enough.
If we are successful in the surprise, as a player question, as a GM, will you give us a round with no response?
Would be a round. Would be however many rounds it takes them to get into mechs and get them powered on. So there are going to be some number of active mechs. But if you land in the middle of them, there will be mechs that are down for maintenance. There will be like, not all of them will be active at the first round, for certain.
So doesn't sound like there's any objections to that makeup.
Mm-mm. All right.
No,
Well,
Girl just nods and adds in. Might not be as fast as everything else, but I sure got some range.
Well, you can beat Morena in a race.
Probably.
So she is the awesome. Definitely.
Yes.
All right, so then battle plan.
Mhm.
Here's what I'm thinking. We take some of Geralt's magic and modify our transponder to look like the I can't remember the name of the other dropship.
To be fair, I can't either.
And we'll drop in as if we're coming to help them escape, deploy onto the field, and as we deploy,
No, not now, brother.
announce that we will accept their surrender.
Not now, wait.
If they surrender, well and good. They'll have to power everything down, and we'll take them into custody. If they won't, I wouldn't mind another shot at that dragon pilot.
We have room for people, like squads in the ship, right?
It would be a really uncomfortable flight because you wouldn't be able to quick deploy them because 12 mechs is all you can quick deploy. But if you wanted to put 50 or 100 troops into the dropship, yeah, it wouldn't be don't crash. Because it's not, the dropship isn't set up for like carrying battalions of troops, but
Wasn't planning on it, but we might need some more people to actually keep control of the people on the other side.
Are you thinking a company of MBFA ground troops?
At least some that can help us with the troop control. Please hold it, and he just pulls out his phone and sends off message to Colonel Oberst Vanya. Request for some amount of ground forces to aid. No number specified, just to see what she comes up with.
approved. And she sends back approved, and troops will be loading momentarily.
Just turns back to Caleb. Well, we got our ground troops.
Thanks, Geralt. It's good thinking. All right. Anybody got any last minute thoughts before we go?
Yeah, which sim should I practice on? If we're not taking the fire starter.
I thought you were in the grasshopper now.
Yep.
Lefty is in the grasshopper.
I don't think Caleb ever told Yvonne implicitly that she's now in the grasshopper.
Fair
She's
enough.
just curious as to why her mech isn't on the jump schedule.
I guess that's up for Caleb whether or not he's done that.
Oh, Yvonne, you're still here? Fine. The grasshopper needs a pilot.
My soul would love to pilot a grasshopper, but
All right.
I didn't think I was forgettable.
Oh, Yvonne, you're not forgettable.
So probably as you guys, like a couple, about 5-10 minutes, you have the mechs all locked into the bay. Like all the techs have cleared out, just because this is going to be dangerous. So, and either you're going to win or you're going to lose. So you don't need a whole lot of techs on hand. So techs have cleared out. The Toraberu crew, which is now half as big as it used to be, because the other half went with the other unfortunate incident. So the and then 25 soldiers, like NBFA. So they have like, they're wearing fatigues, but there's like, these are all commercially, like, these are not uniforms, they are commercially bought off the shelf, like camo patterns, so like they don't match with each other, but obviously they are like NBFA troopers. They all have like guns and sidearms, and they load in, and like the lieutenant in charge kind of looks around, then spots you, Geralt, and says, Lieutenant Geralt, where are we staging?
I look to Caleb and then look back to them, find the point towards the storage hold, and strap in, guys. Find somewhere to bunker up and get ready for launch.
They nod, and Geralt, you're certain that none of these guys have been off planet? You guys might want to check on them. I'm just saying, before you leave. All right, Denver, you are the only pilot that is here. So,
All right.
you work your way up to the command captain's chair.
And I hear the going rate is 3 million.
Wait, and
You wish.
the crew like, wait, we get paid 3 million for this?
Well, Denver, I'll trade you 3 million for your Jaeger mech.
I'll pass.
That's what I thought.
How much is a Jaeger mech worth? Now I'm curious.
Probably more.
Probably more than 3 million. It's a heavy. You get yourself into the comfy
5.2.
5.2. There you go. Denver, you get yourself into the comfy chair. There are fewer crew members here who are helping you than you would like to have. Definitely fewer on this ship than you are used to, but it's a quick 30 to 45 minute flight between Radal and Kyberg. Suborbital flight is amazing. All right, so Tinker with the transponder, give me an intelligence plus computers. Give me your hacking roll, basically, please. $15. Really? Is that a max?
Yep.
Yes.
I can't get any higher. 12 plus 3.
All right. So you are now as perfectly matching the independent vessel as is like humanly possible, and with that roll, you also send a response back on the channel telling the DCMS forces that you have accepted their offer and are inbound in the next hour. All right, who's all going to check on the ground forces to make sure they don't get themselves killed in this?
Not me.
Okay.
I was going to do it on the way back towards the Black Knight for securing myself.
Right.
If anyone else wants to get there before Geralt does, feel free.
That's obligatory. I'm strapped and ready to go. I am in too much
Same.
pain.
I'll come up to the group while Geralt's chewing them out.
All right. Geralt, you're chewing them out, but you haven't been on that many dropship voyages either. Caleb, give me a knowledge plus.
How about a lead?
Oh, there you go. A lead plus wisdom or intelligence. A 10. All right. So you are able to like convince them that seatbelts are very important and they need to be sitting down in these crash chairs. And like it's pretty quick that you're able to like sway the guys like, oh no, it's not that bad. Like, no, really, sitting down and being buckled in is very important for what's going to happen here. But you are able to get everybody into a place where you think that, barring a catastrophic crash landing, you'll be fine. Speaking of catastrophic crash landings, Jaeger, give me a pilot plus dexterity roll, please. As Denver triggers the engines and gets you guys up into, well, out of the atmosphere. And it is a smooth, even, like, most of you are loaded into mechs. But this is as good a piloting as you have ever experienced in a drop.
Yeah.
I didn't want to spill my coffee.
Your coffee remains unspilled. All right. Now for reentry, you are doing this without enough people. Give me a pilot plus dexterity -1, please. Only need an 8. That's fun.
Probably need to re-roll that
I would suggest it.
as an expert.
Yes. Go for your reroll. All right. Again, you guys feel the ship kick over. So you know it goes vertically up, and then you feel it go into free fall, and you guys are like weightless for 10 or 15 seconds. And then the butt end turns around and you start plowing your way back through the atmosphere. And 40 minutes from initial rocket firing, you guys are landed in the location that you wanted. Who's saying what as you come in, and did you let what's his bucket talk?
So that was going to be as we were grounded and deploying.
Okay, as you're grounded and deploying, fair enough.
So as we're oh, that's a good idea. So the recording is just a broadcast to who's ever in command of the DCMS forces. This is the Thundering Einherjar. We're calling for your complete and unconditional surrender. Please respond.
In respond, female voice. All right, so that seems to be working. Switch over to this. Turn on voice changer, maybe. Hold, please.
There we go.
Uh-oh.
So
female voice comes over the radio and says, unknown forces, who, we're expecting a ride off of this rock. Surrender.
So Caleb will key in. Take a closer look. You have a whole company of mechs that aren't so happy with you leaving. Your option is to surrender or be to.
How can I know that you won't kill us anyway?
I can guarantee if you don't surrender, we will.
She's sorry. I'm gonna turn off the voice changer. Okay, so she keys in. She obviously like keys into her own unit. And says like conferences with him for a few moments and says, if you let our dependents go, we'll surrender to you. But you have to let our dependents load onto the drop ships, including the other Union, and let them free of the planet.
Who am I talking with? Who am I speaking to?
Names. This is military ranks. Mil rank. Okay. Military ranks. Haha. Inner sphere houses. Dracona's Combine. So junior officers. So this would be Chu-E, Shinsuke, she's Chu-E, Shinsuke Shimuz. I can't say the name.
Shinsuke Shimizu.
Yes, thank you.
And the rank?
Chu-E would be the equivalent of lieutenant or lieutenant senior grade.
Chewie, I have someone that may make this a little easier for you. You patch him through, please.
I will do whatever I can to make sure that I'm guessing. I've just probably just given this comms unit when instructed, so I do.
All right. So you all hear Chu-E, Shinsuke. This is Tai-E. Oh, names. NPCs. Nope, not.
Suma Okabe.
Yes, Suma Okabe. These people have treated me well. By the way, Geralt, this is the first you've heard this voice and also name. These people have treated me well. If you surrender, they will be kind. Where is the Shosa? And Shinsuke responds, Shosa is medicated. She was shot when escaping. She is not currently in command. She's not currently in, she doesn't currently have the ability to command, but she's not going to be happy with you.
Clock's ticking. Decide quickly.
We surrender our mechs, but we can't let the new Bergen forces take our dependents. We don't trust them. And we we request and require that the mercenary forces keep command of us as prisoners of war.
Done.
All right. So you guys, the mech warriors like walk their mechs up to outside of long range missile range, but within sight range of you guys, and lock their mechs and climb out of the heads of their mechs. And you guys can see in the background, like people moving towards the dropships from off to the northeast.
Like just a mass of people walking?
Yeah,
or...
it's people walking. Some of them look injured. Old, young, children, adults.
All right, so Caleb will call back to the dropship, ask for the NBFA forces to deploy for crowd control, and we'll definitely stay in the mechs until things are settled and to make sure that things don't get out of hand either direction.
All right. I would like everybody to make a notice plus wisdom roll.
I'm a reroll that one.
Okay.
My noticing hasn't been good today.
Oi, I'm the most noticeable? That's unusual.
I improved by 1.
I see a 3 both times.
That's Yvonne, the last one.
Oh. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I got a 3 and a 4.
I think I'm gonna re-roll that too.
Go for it, Yvonne.
Jeez Louise. There we go.
Yvonne and Caleb. So the NBFA troops deploy and like start acting as crowd control. You let them know that they're not to interfere with people heading towards the dropships. And it's not very much longer until you see you get a ping of another dropship inbound, but it's a kilometer to the north out of any of your range. And the NBFA troops start getting a little rowdy with the captured mech warriors.
Geralt will stomp closer to them and pull rank.
I was gonna say you haven't noticed, Geralt. It's Yvonne and Caleb. I think got the 8s. Yes.
I'll ping Geralt and say, hey, let's see if we can rein your guys in a little bit.
Oh yeah, and just stomp over in 70 tons, 75 tons, and do some chewing out on orders and whatnot.
You get a string of invectives back, Geralt, and it's like, this one blew up my house, and like the one of the not sergeant's not the right term. One of the PFCs, private first class, like swings around and rifle butt into one of the male mech warriors, like into the ribs, and that person like keels over in pain.
Geralt will hunker down, lock knees, and get out, march angrily at the soldier.
Okay.
Caleb, seeing the Black Knight locked down, is going over to be in the area not locked down.
Everybody has noticed this at this point, and the NBFA army is getting progressively rowdier as a couple of them are going, why are we letting all those people go? Where are they going? They didn't surrender too. Where are they going?
These are non-combatants.
Correct.
Geralt will angrily shout at them that the guys getting on the dropships are in fact non-combatants, and the mech warriors have surrendered. So stow it or get back on the dropship.
Give me a lead plus charisma, please, Geralt.
Break, 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 break.
An 8. A 9. Geralt, you see the sergeant, one of the sergeants, like, look at you and what you're saying, and then with a quick motion brings his gun up to his shoulder and aims it at the civilians. The mech warriors are now diving out of the way. Everybody has dexterity plus dexterity. I want to see if you get here faster than
Exert.
Yeah, dexterity plus exert. Can you react in time to stop this from happening?
Everybody? I mean, I'm in my mech.
You're in your mech. You could shoot a laser or
Gotcha.
PPC.
It's a reaction. Okay.
Okay. Geralt, 2. Did you? Oh, you did 7, 6. Denver, Yvonne. Who am I missing?
I'm 9. Yvonne's 9. Geralt is 7. Denver is 6. And
Caleb is 8. So Caleb, Morena, and Yvonne, you all have a chance to try to stop this from happening. What does that look like? We'll go with Yvonne. You're probably the fastest.
Well, it is a grasshopper, so a quick jump over and stand right in front of him in between non-combatants and him.
Pilot plus dexterity, please. With a 10, you land and you position your legs in such a way, you don't land on anybody, of course, but you position your legs in such a way that the guy's burst of rifle fire bounces off of your mech's legs, doing no damage. Morena?
I have some small lasers in my head, right?
You do have, in fact, a small laser in your head.
I will make sure I have the location pinpointed in, so when they want to make a move, I can immediately fire. Specifically on them, hitting nothing else except for the 4 feet behind them.
If you're firing your weapon, go ahead and give me dexterity plus shoot, please.
Was there intent already?
Yeah, this person was obviously going to fire.
Yeah, then definitely.
Okay.
Shoot plus dex?
Shoot plus dex.
A 10. It's not that great.
It's good, plenty good enough for this. So small laser lances out from the awesome. Wow, that was a lot harder to come to brain than I should have been. Small laser lances out from the awesome and puts a hole where this guy's chest should have been. Caleb, you're the only person who can act now. With an 8, you act after the laser already hit.
So I will. At this point, I'm just going to key up on both the external mic and the comm channel to stand down.
All right. So a couple of tense moments. The sergeant stands down by falling over. Everybody else is like, the weapons were like at not ready. Is ready the right term? Yeah, ready. And a couple of them had brought up their shoulders, but they're like dropping them out of, I don't want to get so they don't get shot, and they're looking around real concerned at this point. But they are standing down.
All right, soldiers, MBFA troops, pick your weapons back up. Do your jobs. Don't do more than your job. Just do what you're told.
They're looking at you, girl. Like, do we have to take this?
You heard the man. He's helping us, so we're technically under his command.
The lieutenant like gets recommand of his troops. There's a person doing CPR on the sergeant, but there's a hole where his heart should be, so it's not, being very effective.
Oh,
Well,
he's a
okay.
holy man.
It's heart, lungs, some of torso. He's half the man he once was. I'm sorry, I had to.
Geralt will just sigh heavily, like,
What do I, Lieutenant? What do I do with this? Does anybody have a med kit?
Sergeant's dead. And this is... I thought we were better than the DCMS, and he looks over at them.
And a couple of them are looking
offense meant.
A couple of them are looking like chagrined. The DCMS mech warriors have like coalesced into a knot, and they're kind of hiding behind their mechs at this point. None of them are making moves to get into their mechs, but
I'm deeply disappointed in you guys. We're fighting for a better way of living, not under an oppressive thumb, and you want to go and do exactly what they're doing? Either do as you're told, or get back on the ship. And he stomps back and gets into the Black Knight.
Give me a lead plus charisma, please. I want to see how they take this. 7. You... None of them are fighting you anymore. Several of them look relatively broken, especially the ones who are under the command of the sergeant. So like 4 of them are looking real upset, but they're doing their jobs. They get the mech warriors rounded up, search them over for guns and similar, and march them into the bay of the dropship. Meanwhile, another evacuation is happening behind you. Just to remind you of something. Okay, just a reminder of something. All right. Because I'm certain Caleb doesn't care, but Geralt might. All right, so the DCMS commander inside of the Leopard class dropship, they for it would translate to knife kitty, but I don't know Japanese well enough to just do that. So, anyway, the dropshift knife, the words are hard. Dropshift knife kitty, or knife cat, keys up your frequency, Caleb, and says, do we need to leave now, or can we take some time to load in some supplies? Naifu Neko. I mean, sure. Do we have some time to load in some supplies? Can you guarantee our safety until we're ready to lift off?
As long as people don't start targeting civilians.
Well, let me put it this way. Get what you need to survive. The longer you wait, the less control I have.
Thank you, Major. I guess I don't know your rank. Thank you. Mercenary forces. We'll get these people off planet.
Long as I don't see you again, it's good by me.
The person cuts off the thing. Looks like they're sending out a couple of vehicles to head back to camp, to go collect something.
Let's not leave those unescorted. I want to call off a couple of who's our quickest. We're all the same speed, I think, aren't we?
Yeah, well, except for the awesome.
Yep.
Yvonne, let's keep an eye on them.
Aye.
Who would be the quickest? So the grasshopper.
Jump speed of the grasshopper will probably speed it up.
I was gonna say, and the Warhammer is just a good, like, just got short range missiles and machine guns and stuff. So Stanislav volunteers.
Yep, seems like a good pair.
Although 54 kilometers an hour is still pretty fast, to be fair.
Yeah.
On the awesome.
For a mech.
Yeah. Well, no, for a person, it's fast.
Oh, well, these guys are in trucks.
Right. Are they on roads, though?
Well, they're sort of not roads.
Yeah. Are you going to drive 60 kilometers, like 45 miles an hour over dirt roads?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, over dirt roads, but over this, no.
Yeah, okay, fair.
So you guys set up some you watch them. They like load up, obviously, like food and clothing and similar stuff into the backs of these trucks, and couple 3 trips, and they are loaded in. A kilometer to the north, the other dropship is landed and is loading up even more stuff. Like 50% of the people are going to the commercial dropship, and the other 50% of the people are crowding into the other 2 dropships. It's going to be a tight race, and this is going to take a couple hours. You guys could, because it's a suborbital flight, you guys could take off at any time. You going to stay here until they leave, or are you going to...
Oh yeah, we're not leaving here with 16 mechs on the ground.
15, in fact.
15 in that case.
Yes. I can give you a complete list later, but yes, 15 mechs. The mech warriors are loaded into the Toraberu, and about 6 hours later, the Naifu Neko, apparently, the other dropship and the commercial dropship, all their thrusters fire, and they are going for orbit. And Geralt, you're probably still in your Black Knight, right?
I typed I had a slight errata to what he did after he did the final yells at the NBFA. He would go and personally check that all of the DCMS mechs were in fact powered down and not in a hot start state, begging for us to just drop our guard and they could.
There's nobody in them, but it's a mixture of completely shut down and flip a couple keys and you could get going again. But it's pretty easy to flip them off.
Yeah, that's what he does, but it wouldn't take him 6 hours, so he'd probably just sit in his Black Knight scanning with the guns.
All right, please join me in the sideboard, Zerder. So your mech gives you the diddle-doo, 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 doo as you get an incoming call. It is Overst Vanya Lund.
This is Geralt. How can I direct your call?
And she says, Geralt, what is, and you hear the phone being taken from her, and you hear the voice of Lars, like yelling into the phone. What is the meaning of this?
The meaning of this is that we are better than the DCMS. The dropships are taking off with civilians and non-combatants.
You're letting them get away. You're goddamn letting them get away. They're only a jump away from Russelhog. You're letting... if they get to Russelhog, we're done. And he's just...
Well, then I shouldn't give you the good news that we have 15 mechs standing here in running order. Okay.
Fucking hell, Geralt. The whole point was so they couldn't let word out. We can rebuild mechs.
Can you rebuild mechs from nothing?
Did you capture their mech warriors at least?
Yes. All combatants that are not part of a dropship crew are secured.
Did you get Noguchi? Player knowledge or player? No, you did not. They are loaded on a dropship because they were too injured to fight. Katana Koneko, I love it. Okay, anyway.
I have not yet gotten a full roster of who we captured, but given that they surrendered, she was likely not in any state to do any ordering around, at least.
Do you think the mercenaries can track those dropships down and shoot them out of the sky?
Can you persuade them to do so?
I could order them to do so, but apparently they're not following my orders. You know what? You just... I'll talk with you. Get your asses back here as quickly as you can, and slams the phone down, but doesn't hang up. And you can hear him stomp out of the room. And like...
Well, Vanya, good to see we have a cool-headed general.
Vanya, like, you could hear her pick up her phone and, like, timidly put it to her ear and goes, I'll talk with him. I'll reason with him. He's mad that... He's mad about his dad, I think, but that's not an excuse. But I'll talk with him.
And just the reminder that I thought we were doing this to show we were better than the DCMS, not the same as.
She lets out a long suffering sigh and says, "Not all of us remember that in the end. I'll calm him down. You get your mercenaries back in line and get them back here. This is gonna be great news for some people, and I'm a little worried about the rest of the planet, but we need to be able to coordinate from here, so get him back on board and get him home."
Will do, Lieutenant.
Shoot.
Have a good one.
The troopers you have there, detail them to guard the mechs until we can get some helicopters or something over there to take command of them.
Oh yeah, you're down as sergeant.
You know, I'll get the after action report later. Goodbye, Lieutenant.
Just hang up, no more words.
Okay, back to the mainland.
You already have scratches on the ankles.
I know.
All right.
Like, that's not my fault.
So it takes 6 hours for the dropships to take off. And you guys are left with a hold full of mech warriors, NBFA troopers, and a field full of battle mechs.
Geralt will get out of his Black Knight, yell at the lieutenant. New orders!
Yes,
Protect
sir.
these mechs!
Yes, sir.
Reinforcement will arrive by helo with ASAP.
Right. And he starts gathering up his troops and marching them back off of the dropship.
Geralt
Did
just
we
picks-
have anybody thundering Einherjar other than those troops?
No.
Geralt, what are you doing? We can't just leave the mech warriors on the dropship unattended. Get those troops back in there.
Stuff them in the cargo hold. Put a mech foot in the way of the opening.
That's fine, but I need them secured before we just leave them on the dropship.
Orders are to return for debrief. Jesus.
We'll guard the mechs out here in the field. Who's available? Let's have Company 2, Lance 1. Let's have you take the first watch.
The rest of you loading back onto the dropship? What's going on?
Well, let's see. You said that this side player question. You said that the helos were coming like in a couple hours.
They said ASAP. Helos would be coming from Radal. Snaps.
So we're talking another 3 or 4 hours then.
6,500 kilometers. How fast does a helo fly?
That's a long trip.
Uh-huh. We're probably talking, what, a day?
Mhm.
Yeah, I wouldn't think a chopper would have that sort of a range.
Okay. I
Nuclear engines.
not on helos. They suck gas. So there's a problem there. That you guys are just becoming aware of.
All right, I think Caleb's going to talk this over with Geralt a little bit and figure out that the helos can't even make it. So we're going to essentially set up to have our grounded dropship be a base of operations. Set up patrols, and the mechs that aren't on patrol can load back up.
So
Black Knight will park outside with either the engine always running or an extension lead out to power the electronics.
Okay.
For comms.
A C, what, 5? Lockheed Seed 5. What does that have for range? I don't know. Anyway, well, yeah.
Galaxy could do that and do it reasonably quick.
Okay. They gotta find one, but that's probably going to be the long-term answer for how they're going to get somebody here, is loading up like a long range military transport and doing it that way.
If they have the equivalence of a, no, I'm not sure the C-130 could make it. Might be just outside the range of the Hercules.
So there's some air breathing aircraft that they could do, but it's going to be a fixed wing, not a helo, and it's probably going to take them a day or 2 days to get something rounded up, and then another probably 10 hours flight, 12 hours flight.
Yeah, we're looking probably close to a week if there's any sort of realistic logistical snafus.
As me and Caleb do the math on flights and distance and stuff, I will just fire off a text message to Vanya stating, "Make sure you don't send the helo. It will splash down in the middle of the sea."
Like 2 hours later, Vanya texts you back and goes, "Thank you, Lieutenant, for your insight. Somebody here told me their ranges. 2 days for fixed wing. Best guess. Keep the mercenaries there."
Reply already on it, because by that time we've almost hashed out the routines and probably so. Just confirm that we're holding position and we'll await relief.
Okay. So you guys have a solid 2 days of very boring times. You get, like, the mech warriors are not going to fight you. I'll give you that. Like, they require food and water and bathrooms, but they are well and truly surrendered. Do you get what's his bucket with them, or do you keep them separate?
Oh, the other pilot that we captured?
Yes.
I think it's going to be easier to keep them all in one place, so we'll have them rejoin.
Okay. So he takes command. He is the highest ranking person in the DCMS crew. He takes command of them and reassures you that as long as you stay in charge, like your mercenaries stay in charge, and not the NBFA stays in charge, they will make no attempt to escape.
Fair enough. Fine by me.
All right. So
Geralt has questions about the additional prisoner, but there's a reason Geralt has the NBFA guarding mechs outside, not prisoners inside.
you guys are close enough to Kyberg that there are, like, every few hours on the road, which is probably a couple kilometers away, you guys see a vehicle drive past slowly, and then if, like, there's any motion towards the vehicle, just, like, get away. You don't know if they're looky-loos or what, but never close enough to, like, press a perimeter.
Geralt, did you ever hear any more about those commandos, whatever they're called, that we ran into at the drop port?
That's an excellent question. I would have to direct to the GM, because I sent him a private message after that game stating Geralt's intentions.
So the answer is no.
No more. They went complete silence after that.
That makes me nervous, knowing that they're probably still out there. Somehow I doubt that they tucked their tails between their legs and made it off on those drop ships.
All right.
They're on the capital continent. Unless they're better than world-class swimmers, they're still over there.
Commercial flights have not resumed yet, so. So on the 13th, Monday the 13th of April, you guys get word that the relief flight for you is coming into the Kyberg airport. They've got a couple of transport planes full of NBFA troopers. And Denver, you're sitting on the bridge of the Toraberu. Geralt, you're in your Black Knight, and both of you get a ping at the same time of jump signature out at the zenith jump point of the planet, or of the system. And all three of the orbiting craft who have been orbiting for 3 days in free fall, because that's fun, kick their boosters into gear and start making towards the zenith point. And we'll go ahead and end the session there. So, thank you to the players for playing. Thank you, everybody, for watching. It has been great having you here. We'll be back again in 2 weeks for more Battletech. I hope to see you all then. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Bye.